The biggest mystery of the Rover Group, and perhaps what sealed its fate, the Rover R30 programme. The car on which all of its hopes lay. All of its futures depended on this project. However, after a boardroom battle at BMW in Munich, this car was allegedly pillaged and became the BMW 1 Series. That's right, we're going to explore the development and the pillaging in its darkest hour of the Rover R30 project, commonly known as the Rover 35 and Rover 55. If you're not subscribed already to the channel, please make sure to do so. It really does help me out and you get to see more of this stuff. Also, let me know in the comments your opinions on this and what you'd like to see next, and drop a like if you liked the video. And without further delay, let's get into the video. After BMW's acquisition of Rover Group in 1994 and its Honda-based lineup, BMW knew to see Rover into the new millennium and beyond, a complete lineup refresh was needed. BMW were also tired of paying the royalty payments on the Honda technology used in this current lineup. The main reason for BMW's acquisition of Rover was purely strategic. BMW at the time was the smallest of the big three German automotive manufacturers, producing less than 1 million cars a year, with Volkswagen, the largest at the time, producing a staggering 3 million plus units across all of its divisions. Drawing from VW's business model, BMW decided it needed a volume car manufacturer. The proposal consisted of 3 platforms and 4 cars, with the 4 cars playing to the strengths of the Rover brand: premium and British. The new Mini R50, the flagship Rover 75 or R40 as it was known at the time, and the mid-sized family hatchback and small saloon R30 or the Rover 35/55, a similar platform share to its current 200 and 400 families. Work on the platforms was started in 1996. The plan with the R30 was initially to produce a single model to replace the Rover 200 and 400, but then it evolved into the 35 and 55, sharing no engineering with the current HHR or R3 platforms. The UK design team was headed up by Richard Woolley in the UK, the chief designer of the Rover R40 or Rover 75, with development in the early days being at the design studios in Gaydon. The R30, when the project progressed into its more advanced stages, was then moved to Germany to follow the same development program as the R50 Mini, first conceptualized in Britain, moving to its final stages, and then effectively sent to BMW in Germany for the final engineering stages and approvals. Under the skin, the R30 was engineered to not use the K-Series engine, like the Mini R50 program, favouring a mix of low-powered BMW M47s and the Tritec engine produced in collaboration with Chrysler, all of which mounted inline, a departure from the 75's transverse layout. It's also important to note at this time, if you look at these engines and look at the BMW 1 Series lineup, you start to see a few similarities. The more sporting models would receive the new NG 4-cylinder engines, built in Hams Hall in Birmingham. The R30 was in its final stages, emerging as a fully functioning prototype ready for production. However, this is when things started to go south. The car was to be produced in Longbridge alongside the Mini. However, to get the R30 in the hands of the general public, Longbridge needed significant investment. Thus, BMW, reluctant to pile any more money into the ailing Rover Group, with internal politics at the time already at play between both companies, asked the British government for a £200 million subsidy in 1998. An important thing to remember when BMW asked the government for another multi-million pound grant in the year of 2023. After much procrastination, in the hopes that it would bring the R30 to market, the UK government granted a £152 million loan known as the R30 grant to BMW. However, with BMW's financial agony, financing the development of several new models within its subsidies, the new Mini, the Range Rover, the Land Rover Freelander, the Rover R40 and the R30, to name a few, the strain was starting to show, with BMW's investment in Rover up to 1998 being a whopping £2.2 billion. Plans for the targeted Rover range in 2003 were the mini hatchback, coupe and convertible, the R30, the Rover 35 3-door and 5-door hatchbacks, the Rover 55 saloon and coupe, the Rover MPV based on the R30 platform, and the Rover 75 saloon and estate, the R40 programme. In February of 1999, BMW's then chairman, Bernard Pichetsrieder, presented the proposal to the BMW board with a proposed launch date of March 2002. However, with costs mounting, Rover losing £2 million a day, and the proposed plan projected to cost BMW £1.4 billion, the proposal was deemed too costly, and with BMW executives questioning then chairman's multi-brand strategy, in an extraordinary move, Rover's biggest lifeline within BMW resigned in a remarkable corporate shake-up. And with this, Rover's fate with BMW was sealed. In 2000, the sell-off and asset stripping commenced. The R30 was in its final stages. BMW did not include this in the sell-off to the Phoenix consortium and allegedly tried to sell the project back to the newly formed MG Rover in 2001 for £3 million. But, alas, the Phoenix 4's overdraft could not stomach this proposition. They decided to go to Le Mans instead to launch the new MG range. BMW then tried to sell the medium sector entry pack to the Chinese, mostly China Brilliance. However, this was rejected. It's alleged that the BMW 1 Series was born of the Rover R30, which apparently is closely based on it. The R30's design from the A-post back is remarkably similar to the BMW 1 Series. Even before BMW's takeover of Rover in 1994, BMW engineers had been exploring the idea of a baby BMW, which of course changed when BMW plunged all of its resources into Rover Group. BMW then realised its brand cachet, much like Mercedes, was strong enough to head down market. Its new management, in the end, concluding that the Rover experiment failed. The Rover R30 project was key to Rover remaining a large volume car manufacturer and becoming a viable business once again, rejuvenating the Rover brand and restoring its lost future. It was also the last roll of the dice for the BMW and Rover Group relationship, which of course resulted in its downfall. Do I believe the Rover R30 would have been a success? Absolutely. Being pitched as the Rover 35 against the Golf, which is a massive seller, selling 700,000 cars in 1996 alone, and the 55 being placed against the Bora or the Passat, I believe it would have been a success with continued investment. The Rover R30, however, was not the only key asset in play here. The Mini or the R50 programme, as we know, would have been a resounding success, with it mostly completed by the time it was split off from MG Rover in 2000. And if you want me to make a video on that, let me know, because I'd absolutely love to. With the Mini gone, Land Rover removed from its parent, MG Rover was all that remained, which was formed in 2000 by the Phoenix consortium. They were left with the crown jewel, the Rover 75 and its R40 platform. However, this was not enough to sustain MG Rover. With the ageing HHR and R3 platform based Rover 25 and 45, its fate was sadly sealed without significant investment, thus bringing to the end one of the most influential, largest, and one of the most dearly missed volume car manufacturers this country has ever known. My opinion on the subject is this: the R30 programme definitely, coupled with the R50, or at least the R30 with significant investment, would have saved Rover Group or MG Rover if MG Rover decided to buy the project and didn't decide to go racing instead. Was that a bad choice? in my head, in hindsight, as someone who wasn't involved in it, so I'm completely on the outside, I was barely even out of nappies at that point, I believe it was a mistake, because I think there was a bit of Rover phobia at the time, due to obviously how badly the brand's reputation had been damaged by the quality issues in the past, with MG remaining a fresh and well-beloved name. So naturally, as that is one of your main assets, you would then, decide to relaunch and promote that. So that was what they were thinking there, moving over to the MG range. Le Mans was obviously very, very costly. I can't remember the figures. I'll probably whack them on screen. I'm not even sure if the figures are known to the general public. But yeah, I believe it was a bit of a misstep. And if you want me to make a video on that, I'd absolutely love to. I'm kind of trying to chronicle the whole history from the start to the finish of this wonderful marque, and it's all the places it's touched in the world and the lives it's changed and things like that. So if you have any sort of insight or anything, let me know in the comments. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, it's been an absolutely fantastic one to research this. I think it's Woodrow McVeigh, he made a video on this as well. Absolutely brilliant video. Check out AR Online as always, the best website on the planet. I wish every website was AR Online because it's so frigging good and so informative. I just love that website. I've been reading it since I was probably in my teens, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, absolutely love it. So everybody, thank you for watching. Keep watching. Remember to drop a comment below on what you want me to do next or your opinion on the R30, and see you in the next one.